So now we're recording. That needs to stay a square all night. But what you're going to be looking for, let's see those white lines in the background? See those little like white shapes?
Yeah.
So this is going to depict whether or not something is of a solid nature, something of a structure, like a person or a brick or a tree or a sign. Now, a blue, like I said, you're going to be looking for things that are moving that are blue, because ghosts come in cold spots. That blue will also have a white line around it. Okay, so you literally need to hold this camera out horizontally this way, so that way we have a nice video to watch afterwards. So you're going to be putting it out the whole time, and you don't always have to film me. Okay. So the other cool thing about this is that it's also, keep in mind, you just put your finger over the lens, there you go. So just treat it like a normal cell phone. I know it's a little heavier, but there's a battery pack on the back.
Okay.
So this is also going to capture audio. So in the event that we're not going to hear something enough on my audio, which today's the 8th, correct? July 8th.
Yes.
So if we don't hear it on my audio, we have another sensory to actually pick up something else. So if I'm asking questions, or you guys are asking questions because we broke away a little bit, then by all means, we might capture different answers at different devices. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. This one's going to you. Yeah, because you seem very talkative, and I need somebody to be able to speak up.
The blue has to be moving for it to be a ghost.
Right.
Yeah.
I am very talkative. I know because my first word was how.
So this is an EMF detector. So what does an EMF detector do? So it will basically take the air that's around it, basically very close proximity, and if there's a change, like there's a ghost nearby, then lights will go crazy. Now, if there's something, no noise. That's why I need you to speak up when something's going crazy. But what we're not looking for is if it's giving me a pattern. So if it's going doot, 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 all the way across, it's doing that because I'm tapping it pretty hard. Now, if it's going to go into a rhythm, that's usually from a cell phone or some wires or something nearby. Now, I'm not going to make things up for you guys. If this thing's going crazy, we're going to start looking into what else is going on, because this is usually our first indicator that something is happening. So all you need to do is hold that and watch it all night long. Can you handle that? Okay.
I'll have to keep picking up to see I'm going the right way.
It's going crazy. So don't do that.
I know, because
Don't joke.
So this is the spirit box I was telling you guys about that's going to record everything. So what it does is just think of a kind of a radio sweeper, like a police scanner. It works almost the exact same way, only much faster. So what this will do is if we were meant to hear anything, turn it on. So I'm going to start the scanning, and it's going to sound like it's going through a bunch of radio stations very, very fast. Okay, turn it up a little bit. So when you hear a DJ or a song lyric or anything that's not one of those two things going over top of that static, that's when you're going to say, I just heard something, and that way we can sync it up with the rest of everything, because it's not going to be able to detect anything else other than the sweeping of the radio stations. So then it's up to me to say, oh, it said building. I need to know what building we were at, so that way I can sync it up. So you saying it audibly catches it on my audio, and that way I can sync it up to the timestamp on the S-Box, on the spirit box.
So like, we'll have to like compare it to like if we see something, this goes crazy, and then that, and
Then I'm going to listen to the audio that started too. So again, that's why I looked at everything as a collective. Everybody's going to play their part. But at the same token, it's a matter of, I don't get excited when only that's going on, because then I need to start getting answers from my spirit boxes or your spirit box that you're going to carry. And I'm still trying to
Sounds like people talking.
Yeah,
we're going to hear little glimpses of it.
it's a radio station.
We're probably hearing a little bit of the DJ from the radio. You have to hear buzz and then the DJ and then...
What I call disembodied voices, which are not using the DJ or the song lyrics to talk to us.
Like,
Charlotte.
She's okay. She's into it.
Yeah, she's all in.
It's so
So that's
crazy.
actually going to go to you.
It's crazy.
So you only need to know one button. There's right up here at the very top, there's a turnstile. It turns the volume up and down. That's it. It's already recording. So even when you turn it down, it's still recording those radio stations. So if you turn it all the way down, when I'm like telling a story, you want to hear something, and you need to say something to the girls, by all means, turn it down.
I get nervous being on control.
Yeah. I don't want to drop it.
What else
I really hope we see ghosts. What's that?
What's the
No, it's just windows
one
over there.
area that's the most active?
for this tour or in Charleston in general?
One Charleston.
There's a couple, and we unfortunately don't hit any of them.
Oh, sad day.
I do have one very big hotspot that is almost a guarantee.
Okay, cool.
So the places we're going to go, I can't guarantee that our gadgets and gizmos are going to go off. What I will tell you is that I've never had a tour where I wasn't able to collect activity and to actually claim it being paranormal. I will, oh, excuse us.
Are y'all doing a tour by some chance?
You're probably looking for Bulldog down that way. Perfect. You're going to go 2 blocks and make a left. No, I'm the only one in town that does this. That's how I know that, like, I know who my people are. So, I'm going to keep everything limited to 10 anyway, even after the COVID-19 stuff has been lifted. So, Bulldog will just pack them, and we won't get into that. Alright, so I'm going to give you a very simple job. Because you don't seem like you already asking questions. Everything else in my bag is pretty high tech. So this guy, we should all recognize what this guy is, right? Temperature checks.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to measure and help Ruby determine if she actually has a cold spot or not. So it's a laser,
Okay.
and it will shoot pretty far. You guys see the red dot on the tree?
Yeah.
So it'll give us a base temperature of what that stuff is. Now, we have to be careful with certain windows. I usually give that to an adult because I have other lasers in my bag where I have to be careful who gets what. But that's a singular laser where if she actually thinks she has a cold spot, you can help us debunk that, meaning we can prove it false or we can prove it true. So I have other things in my bag that I'll pull out if I feel like we need to. I have things like crazy grid pens and ambient temperature things and all kinds of other things. But again, this is meant for a tour of 10. So again, we'll kind of leave those in the background. I am going to pull out that camera mode so I can have it on my wrist and see what we can capture. Actually, I'll wait until we actually get to some of the spots where I think we're actually going to get
Do we
something.
go to any cemeteries?
No. We'll go to one,
Never know.
but Charleston is one big giant cemetery anyway
Right.
because of the amount of tragedies that we've had here. So a couple things I use on my phone. First off, I use an EMF on my phone just as a backup in case her battery gets drained. We have a backup. And yes, they are pretty sensitive. Not as sensitive as the one that she has, but it does work. So that's one of the apps. The other app I use, if you want to turn that one down just for a second so you guys can hear how this one works. So this one will actually give us the list of words right here in the center. This is from the last tour. You can see they had 63 entries. This is the one that's meant to be a game and a hoax. 80% of it means nothing. It's the 20% that it's up to us to actually look for intelligent responses. Because I'm going to be asking questions, and they're not going to be yes or no questions. So we're going to clear them out and start you guys off fresh because they already have their list. And then I use one more.
I remember this from the Ghost Hunter show where they actually are asking,
Yeah.
why are you so upset? And stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So we're going to be looking for simple 1-word, 2-syllable answers. Like that's, I mean, the max you're going to really get out of this kind of stuff. I'm not going to glorify anything. This is the real deal. This is how this goes. Like that's the fun of this. And that sometimes, you know, at the end of the tour, you're like, man, we really didn't catch anything. It's like, wait till the next morning. I will find what we actually caught that you
Don't
missed.
catch it.
So this guy is a reverse spirit box. So what this does is it takes those radio stations that are sweeping through both of the spirit boxes and it reverses them. So it's going to sound like complete gibberish to us. If we were meant to hear something, it will come through in forward motion. So I'm actually going to turn it up so you guys can actually hear it because it is a little creepy. The nice thing about this is you're going to hear everything on your recording. So if I walk away from you guys because I don't want to interfere with your spirit box, I may be asking questions and you're going to see how I go about the investigation. So if I say, let's go ahead and explore a little bit, you get me this, you get me that, and this, that, and the other, and you guys kind of explore, stick together as a group, of course. But if I walk off, it's going to be because I'm trying to get different answers. And if I hear something, I repeat it. So that way, when you guys are listening to your audio, you can go back 5 seconds and verify what I just heard. That's one. So
So if I see a cold, a blue outline like ghost or whatever, I have to tell her so she can like get the temperature.
exactly.
Okay.
We're just going to kind of debunk things. Again, I don't want to make things up for you. This is very, very real stuff. So, are you good? You scared? Yeah. All right. That's why I gave you
That's
that
the
one.
morbid one.
Should be good. I'm excited. So the first place we're going to go to, guys, is haunted, but it's kind of like your first practice session. There's no historical why it's haunted. It's just I get a ton of activity out of it, and it's a good place for y'all to practice with you guys that you actually have. But we start here on purpose. This place is called Big John's. Well, it used to be called Big John's. Big John was a football player who played for the Giants back in the 1940s, but this story actually happened in the 1970s. So we're talking about 50 years ago, roughly. 40 years ago. So John used to sit in the back of the bar. Cadets would come over from the Citadel after they were done training, and they would try to get a drink. And John would let the bartender know if they were of age or not. And one night, 2 guys got mad. He totally cut them off because they weren't old enough to drink. They left. They come back the next night. They take the cash register out of the front of the bar, and John pulls out his gun and he shoots one. Killed him. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building. The last owner, Paul, who just left town, he went down to Florida. This place was called King Kong Bar. He never filled in that hole. He just covered it up with like a panel. It said anybody that sits in the front of the bar actually gets a little queasy feeling, like their stomach starts to turn, a little headache, a little dizzy, those kind of things. I bring that story up on purpose. A few weeks ago, I actually had a young lady who could not finish the tour because the paranormal activity was just too much. Like she couldn't handle it.
Held it to.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
If
scared.
any of you are not feeling well and cannot go on, I need to know. We will stop the tour, get you into a safe place, and reassess where we're at to see if it was the area, if it was the humidity, whatever. We will figure that part out. But I know how this is going to affect me. I do this every night, 6 nights a week. It's my job. If I say we need to go now. And it's got to be quick. Is that fair? It's only happened twice on this. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna. It's fine. They can't physically harm you, can they?
No. But they will use me as a channel.
Oh. Okay.
So if
They
I,
might want to go home with you.
Okay.
if I say we need to go, it's a
Okay.
very quick, we need to go.
All right.
So up front, I do have epilepsy, which kind of weakens my mind capacity a little bit for them. It's not anything you need to worry about on the tour that I'm going to go into a seizure, but to them, I'm weak.
That they use that. My mom had epilepsy, so.
So again, it's one of those things where I've been channeled. It's happened several times. It's not always a pleasant feeling, but it's at the same time, I don't usually remember it anyway. It just depends on.
Wow, that's wild.
So, I hope I didn't scare you. I didn't mean to.
Oh, we're just getting out of the rain.
I'm just
We're getting out of the
excited.
rain.
So the other ghost that's here is that we had a big earthquake in 1886. Did you guys take any other Charleston tours?
No.
So I can lie to you all night long and you won't know any different?
Probably.
Probably.
I won't.
We're gullible. We're doing everything.
She's extremely gullible. I'm pretty gullible.
So there was an earthquake here.
I'm
Big one.
very, very
For
gullible.
Charleston, like we don't have earthquakes. That was a big deal. It was like an 8 something on the Richter. This is where the first death occurred. The mantle that's above your head broke a piece off in the front of the building and struck somebody. His ghost is said to be seen right here on East Bay Street. So, I want you to keep in mind too that doesn't like point lasers out. If a ghost is near you, that's when it's going to go off. So, I haven't seen that ghost from the earthquake, but I have caught some EMF from the front of the building randomly, which is a good thing. We don't want it the same thing all the time. With the guy that got shot from Big John. Do we want to take cover for a few minutes?
Only if you think that
I mean, I'm fine with the drizzle. Is everybody else okay?
with the rain?
Okay.
If you want my jacket, just let me know.
Let's roll on this way, because there's actually some shelter down this way anyway.
On a corn crazy, it was
So there's certain streets. Let's get out of the grain, and we'll kind of explain what's going on there. All right, just to get everybody in and out of the rain. So
it was going
Yeah.
this is the parking lot where things go a little haywire, and I don't necessarily have a story. So the big red barn that you guys see over there is where they keep the ponies for the carriage rides.
Oh.
Super cool, right? So we do definitely want to keep, what's the
Sure.
word I just
Can you-
got?
Happy.
So this place is usually very, very active. I get a different person almost every time I'm here. It's also the same red barn that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. There are still horses in there, so your laser needs to stay out of those windows. We will spook them, and it's never a pleasant thing. So kind of keep the laser down to a minimum. Good thing we only have one laser tonight. So this underneath here is a sewer line, so there's no reason why her EMF should be going crazy. It's a matter of find the hot spot, and that's when you're going to stop. So when we get that thing going crazy, that's when you're going to stop, and we're going to all kind of pay attention and maybe ask some questions to see if we actually have somebody with us. Is that fair? There's a little cafe over there. While it's still raining, I'll tell you what happens over there. It is haunted. Apparently there was a suicide that occurred there. They asked me to come do a full investigation because I wanted to add it to the tour since it's kind of on the path. I did get some readings on the EMF upstairs. I haven't been able to debunk it yet, but I can't find any records for it because it used to be a slave house. It's been expanded. It's got an upstairs now, and they obviously expanded back because it's a full-blown, like, old Southern home, but slave homes did not have addresses. So it's really hard to come across land deeds, titles, anything in the news about it. And then there was a just historical, it's probably going to bore the kids. I do have little weird historical nuggets, but we're really like close to the water. We're 1 block away, but it actually used to be much closer because all the outskirts of the peninsula of Charleston is all man-made. We expanded it out. That's how that went. So the water was much closer, and during the Revolutionary War, we had a cannon that was shot and hit. There's a stop sign 1 block from here, obviously, and no deaths or tragedies, but they found pieces of the cannonball. So super cool stuff for those history buffs. I try to come up with little nuggets like that throughout the. So there's usually one history buff and why they take these tours. All right, so we'll,
And they'll be the one.
it's been going to that green one.
so we're relatively close to this building, which I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about this building. I think it's just the back of the store that's next to Big John's. Smoker's cough, I promise. Oh, and all of your gadgets have been sanitized. That's why I get here early, so I can sanitize everything. But we're going to have you walk around and kind of find that hot spot and see what we can find out.
The back of that car was
Yeah, I was
Might
over
not
there.
still be there. They move around.
They do move quite a bit. So she might find a hot spot, and then it we kind of spook it off. For you, nice slow sweeps. That app is not up to today's cell phone standards. So your cell phone that you probably have where you can take nice videos and all that, move it all around, that's going to need time to catch up because of the old style of pixels. So you're going to see like little squares come about if you move too quick. So nice slow sweeps like you're filming a TV show or a movie. I got the name Ava. So I'm getting a couple of words already.
That's her middle name.
The exact spelling?
AYBA. That's fine.
Oh, it's A-Y,
And I got the word save. So, save, Ava, create, happy. That's the start of your list. So I told you, kids on this tour, especially, and you're gonna find my name is gonna come up in the spirit boxes quite a bit. You're gonna hear Nick. Hi, Nick. They do. I'm here every night. Hello, Nicholas. You're gonna hear either Nick or Nicholas or welcome back, things like that all the time.
Do you ever get scared?
No.
I think he's probably just friends.
It says
So I will tell you, this is the app I told you was kind of a game and a hoax. So if I had this on my dining room table in my apartment that's not haunted, it might give me a word every 3 to 5 minutes. Maybe. Just a random word. When we're in an active area or I have something nearby, it's going to start spouting them off every 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. So kind of gives you the gist of how this guy works.
so there's
I'm
actual
gonna freak out if they do.
horses.
I mean, I would too.
Yes. Big ones.
I want to ride it.
You're
I
not
want
gonna
to
ride
ride
'em.
them.
So we do have to be somewhat, like with your spirit box, don't crank it up too high. You'll spook them.
Oh, the horses.
Yeah, you'll spook the horses. But let's kind of see what we can find. So definitely listen to your spirit box. Definitely get us some good cold spots on your end, and let's see where our hot spots are with that. Watch your step. Obviously, it's pretty-
And it's going crazy. It was like right here. Going crazy.
So I don't see a pattern, because what I'm looking for, see how it's going to red sometimes, and then she's getting some that'll stay on orange. Other times it's just kind of flipping all over. So this can be a communication device too. Past. I will usually interrupt whatever's happening to tell you guys what word just came up. So that's not past like we pass them up, that's past, present, future. So it looks like they stepped away from you, so let's keep moving. Maybe find somewhere where they're in the red.
There's something dark blue out in the sun.
There's nothing over there. It's all red.
I'm gonna let you explore. Don't follow me. You explore it over. I've seen something go to red. Okay, how many people are in this party tonight? Count us up. How many are there? Can you tell me how many of us are here tonight? Box 7. Try again. Yes, here. How many of us do you see?
I think, can they hurt us? I heard him say 7. And he goes, nope, 7, nope, 7, try again. What did it say?
want of you. One. Keep going. We're all in a row. Count up.
It's not outlined in white.
What's next? Sorry, it's raining somewhere. I know. I just don't want What's your wish? You seeing anything in there? No? Who wants what?
It's going a little bit crazy where it's going to go.
He's going to be hard.
It went right to red a little bit. It did. Right here, right here. No. Yep, right here.
That'll be good on the audio. For a good road song, right?
It turned red right here.
I see that.
Okay.
Can I try that also? That'll put the
I'm
battery.
getting kind of scared, especially since it's like a stormy night.
It's a great
Yeah.
night for this.
So they can't hurt us.
So like if they grab their toast knife, if they go like this, you won't feel anything.
It's just like it just goes right through you.
She might get a little chilly. A little cold. It's coming down pretty big. Take a look at the weather real quick, see where we're at. Did you hit the button in the middle? There you go. You're not seeing any signs of letting up. We might get like a 15-minute break.
yesterday. So this thing up in
I'm okay. My concern is
Can we
always
come back tomorrow? No, we have dance on it. What about the next time? We have a dolphin club scheduled.
And it's my birthday.
You
Whoa.
don't want that? No. I don't want to. You don't want her money? No. It's too bad we can't call Beth and go away from her.
So again, it's up to y'all. However you want me to do this. It's totally up to you.
Are we ever going to go into the water?
It doesn't matter to me, but I would take the boat. Well, here, first Charlotte, here's when you went down on the... She needs it. She's supposed to get sick. She's a child. She's supposed to get sick. Well, she'll bounce back. You're elderly. There you go. Now we're going.
Let's go on to the next spot because that's what's supposed to be there.
Are we ever going to go in there?
We're not going to
No,
go
that's where the
anywhere.
horse
We're not going to go inside any building.
That's the horseshoe room.
That's the whole point. Because if it were inside of a building, you guys could say I rigged it. And I don't rig anything. That's right.
A little bit crazy. If it would go like...
Yeah, this lot is so unpredictable. So even though we have your EMF going off, I'm going to continue moving this along now that you guys have a good gist of what your stuff does.
Yeah. Wow, that lightning really lights up the sky.
When you're this close to the water, it does that.
It's going to like green and then orange and then...
Yeah, it keeps doing that. It must be a pattern. Maybe if the pattern is like that.
It went to red.
Ready?
Yeah, back there.
Good. Good sign. So this, I promise I won't be working that on this one. So this is actually the 18 inches. So Charles and Eliza's son Charles, will be Charles Jr., and his cousin Charles, yes, that's 3 Charleses, they were signers of the Constitution, and the son was raised here. The father was a big prominent person here in Charleston, but it's Eliza's story that makes this place super interesting. So their mansion would have been in the front. Eliza's garden would have been lined up with the standing now and the wood dumpster, and then the slave farm was back here. Eliza only married Charles to stay here in the United States. Her dad was sick, he lived in England, and he wanted her home. She said no, so she married Charles. Dad got better, they made amends, and then Dad started sending her things over from England. And because she was into plants and gardening and a botanist, he sent her an indigo plant, which is what saved Charleston after our rice plantations went down. So indigo makes the blue dye that makes blue jeans blue. We still use it today.
Is that where Charleston got its name, where you use Charles?
No.
Oh.
That would have been King Charles II. And that would have been Charlestown originally. But this was during colonial times, so there would have been walls around Charlestown during that time. So, with that said, there's a lot of things about Eliza that you can ask when we're here. This is my most active spot. As you guys can see, she's already starting to pop through. A lot of times when I mention her name, that thing goes to red almost every single time. But because she was the savior of Charleston, in my eyes, because she wasn't just the person who raised the plant, she was the person that sold it overseas. So so she was also a businesswoman. We're talking the 1750s. It was a big, big deal for a woman to be in business like that. So the back of that restaurant right there has a blinking light. Sometimes it's blinking as slow as it is now. Other nights it's super fast. Other nights it just stays on. It usually goes in sync with whatever's going on with the EMF detector. Like that usually tells me how much activity we're going to have for the night. So if you were to actually hold that up, like you're going to take a selfie, and you can see the blinking from the light and the blinking from the EMF detector are almost perfectly in sync. Again, if it's completely on, this location has only let me down twice where I've had no activity whatsoever in here. I usually have full conversations with Eliza through the spirit boxes. It just depends. And sometimes I might ask a question, an odd one on purpose, to see if the answer is going to come up on another spirit box. So if somebody comes up to me and says, it just said the number 2, and I'll ask, what number wife were you named Eliza? She was the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. So, very weird and just the way life was back then. Yep, kinda. But it was weird times back then. I've been getting a little bit of activity from the back where the slave homes would have been, but I've been trying to stay away from the trailers because every once in a while we'll have some homeless person sleeping back there. So I try to tell everybody just stay away from the trailer.
This trailer.
This is a very interesting place. And again, it's a matter of you're going to hear things. So you're listening for words like trade, obviously plants, garden, soil.
Indigo.
Eliza's name, indigo. Indigo is 3 syllables, so it's going to be hard.
Might be hard, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a little hard. I have gotten, she's told me in the past that her favorite plant was jasmine. She did have 4 kids. You can ask what the kids' names were. And I usually don't give that information out to see if it actually, you're not suggestively looking for a word.
Mom, are you a ghost?
I might be. She might be hanging out with me. She might like me.
She might. So.
I am wearing jeans. They might have been dyed with her indigo.
Might have been. So on Disney Plus, there's a show with the guy from Jurassic Park. I can't remember his name. Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, he's hilarious. Yeah.
So,
the world according to.
Yes. Did you guys? There was one about
I started
denim,
it, but I haven't.
and it talks about indigo and how we still use it. So it might give them a better sense of like what she actually was able to pull out of those plants.
Maybe she likes my MC Hammer Pants shirt.
Maybe.
Can't touch.
We all have funny shirts on.
Careful. Yeah.
So I'm at.
I
Look, I got the word dialogue just for me. Wow, so negotiate. It's probably when me talking about her as a businesswoman. Participant in dialogue. So.
Ooh, she's hanging out with
every
you.
night about Eliza. So let's
What
see
is
what else
this
we can come up
spot?
with. I'm gonna walk around and ask some questions. You guys can do the same thing.
Don't be scared. It's just thunder.
It's loud.
Alright, I'm gonna walk away from Mom, so if you want to stick with her, and that way you guys can kind of.
Don't stand in the water.
Hey, how many children did you have?
I already said 4.
Here it comes again.
What's the youngest kid's name of yours?
Charlotte.
Eliza, I need one of you to speak.
Was it daughters that she had? Did you say just daughters?
All I heard was one of these.
All sons, one daughter.
One Theo?
No.
I heard they twice on
What's
here.
funny is I try to get her to tell me the daughter's name, And my last tour, which would have been Sunday night, as soon as I walked in here, the daughter's name came up here. Like, it was immediate. Like, as soon as I walked in. It was like all week long I was trying to get her. Yeah. Well, I already knew.
Well, yeah.
It's low,
I wanted her to
real quick.
prove. Good.
Hang out with you?
She might be. She
Sure,
usually
she just-
follows me around. That's why I can usually have different, like I've had full conversations with her. She's probably tired of me asking the same question. I know. I keep reading up on her just to try to get more. Eliza, which one of your sons is with you? Maybe who? You want to listen? Eliza, this is Charlotte. Can you say her name? Eliza, can you say Charlotte's name? Yes, Eliza, I know. It's you. Let me move my cell phone away from your gadgets so it doesn't have to go off. What about Ruby? Is that easier? I heard a little something in there.
I heard you.
Try again. Ruby.
That's my arm.
It's a lot to listen for, huh?
That's the voice that could
Yeah.
hear.
Almost had Ruby's name. Try again. Heard Nick in there.
Do you guys know that
Most do. The ones I've encountered. No. What? Just taking a break. He works there.
So I got excited. I was like,
Oh, you guys skipped? Oh, you guys traded? This is your ghost hunt. I do this every night.
Find something blue with a white line on it. Please come on.
I usually give that to two people. So if I have like a husband and wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, I usually give them that share. So that way one person is with the word sunlight. We all wish there was some sunlight. Can you bring us some?
Can you stop the rain, Eliza? No, yes, or no questions.
Eliza, if your house were still here, what room would I be standing in?
I wonder why they tore it down.
I bet it was
Old.
beautiful.
Yes,
Oh.
they usually boost your reputation.
I bet she had a beautiful house and garden.
And she's
Ruby, ask her about her garden. New garden.
Feel what? Mechanism. What she would probably call a gadget. Something in his hands. The mechanism in my hand. The machine. That thing's going pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's hanging out screwy. It's just hanging out.
Yeah, she's just chilling right here. us a name. You haven't really given us much. So in this lot, I've caught where, like, because you can tell, you know, somebody's bare legs are pretty orange in the picture, right? Where a blue spot actually came across real fast, like very quick, and then just kind of went into nothing. There's no reason why somebody's skin would turn blue in one area and go away. So I mean, it actually kind of showed up and went right past them.
Just
No.
now? Oh, before.
No, I'm just saying this is the types of things that I've caught here in this location. Okay, Eliza, can you make this device go to green by stepping away from it? Step away from it and make it go to green. Just trying. Oh, pretty crazy right there. Just chilling. Is there any holder spots in between the three of us?
No.
Nothing?
Well, not any with like the line around it.
Oh, she did it! She did it!
She made it go to green. We also moved a little bit. But she's still following you around a little bit. I'll actually try it. Put something up here. We're not going to get any wind pockets tonight because the rain is keeping everything pretty low.
Oh yeah, I guess so, because that looks like it could be like an entrance to a house.
Yep, the front gate.
Went green when I walked away. Yeah, I've actually had somebody try to accuse me that I had something on me. So let's get one more clean sweep on the video, and we'll move forward to the next location. The rain's going to pass by for a little while at least.
She would be so disappointed that she needed that her home was tore down and made into a parking lot.
Well, the other thing too
Probably
is
was.
it actually burned down.
Oh, it
Burned
did?
down.
So words
They
like fire and destroy and roof and those were the main parts that were, you know, the roof is really what destroyed it because it caved in.
And then we had a problem.
Well, the sad thing is that they're going to put a commercial hotel here, and they're not going to do an archaeological dig. So anything that's underneath this ground, we're going to lose whatever history is here.
Can you
Because
just
it's
come
just
out
too
here with a
expensive.
shovel and do it yourself?
We have enough archaeologists in Charleston that they would probably do it free of charge if they would just reach out to me. They'll be able to go through it. I'll probably have to. There's a couple more little kind of places up that way. We'll probably go a little bit further and back around.
Have you ever been with a group and then said that you needed to go?
Yes.
Jose Gate right there.
He said that he did that earlier, but
This was part of a restaurant that was here.
Oh, so it's not her house? Or wasn't
This
part of it?
this wall and the gate was not part of their house.
You'd think that it could be like an entrance.
Like how they have like
But there was a restaurant right here, not so long ago.
Did anything happen in a restaurant?
Yes, actually. There was a woman found in a blue dress. Like that. No, that house burned down, and then they put up a new building and turned that into a restaurant. And at the restaurant, somebody saw a full apparition, meaning a ghost, of a woman in a blue dress, but the period timing was wrong for it to be Eliza. The thinking was her aunt that took over the house or lived in the house for a short period of time while Eliza was still alive. Alright, so let's go on to the next spot. We're going to be walking a good 3 or 4 blocks away. So your EMF detection, Charlotte, is not going to mean anything because we're going to be on a very busy street. So she's got some craziness going on right now. I hate to leave it, but I really don't want to keep you guys here all night long. It's literally going red to green, red to green. You can say goodbye. I usually do.
Bye. I hope I can come.
thanks for letting us hang out, Eliza.
Hope I can come again.
Well, we're actually going to go this way. We're going
That way.
It's a candy store. There's the market.
We should go in because there's
I wonder if there's anybody hanging out in the market.
I don't know. Kind of leaving off spirit.
Nope, it's all red. Alright, they're walking. Well, yeah, but it has to have like a blue spot with like a white line around it.
You see nothing down there? You should see something down there.
Oh, my thing's going a little bit, but
So did you guys come down to the market?
We were here yesterday.
Is this the place where we were with all the...
yeah, were we guys this close?
Yeah, they just opened it back up.
Gosh. That's where
Sorry.
I'm going, Erica.
Okay.
You can actually go.
Whoa! I don't know, but it looks official.
It's custom house.
Yeah, no, it looks official though. Like a courthouse. I guess she'll definitely be seen.
My books are not for kids. She's asking about my books.
Oh.
They're definitely not for kids.
Yeah, I want to say till you're older, maybe.
Yeah, when they're older.
Maybe
Usually
we'll.
like 16 and up is usually appropriate.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just follow you on Facebook or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna have access to my full website anyway, so it's
Oh,
not like
sweet.
you won't know when stuff will come out.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, there's a cold spot right there. A real cold spot right here. Oh, Sam.
Hi. Move, Ruby.
I was just standing here. You back up on me.
What do you see me backing up? Then
Oh, they
Get
got
back
those
up.
tires too.
I'm against the wall already.
Not going to take this down.
Right there.
Oh, cold.
There's another tour. Just let it pass.
Oh, okay.
What are they doing?
They're just doing a ghost walk.
Oh, they're doing a ghost walk too.
We're just in a ghost walk. We're hunting them.
Yeah. I'm hoping it doesn't stop here. So I was kind of give you the skinny right here. This is actually one of the oldest streets of Charleston.
Just this little alley right here?
This was a street for them.
Of course. Because
So,
they were
again-
horses.
Big streets or just is it
This was a big street. This,
They just had this and lighting.
Right.
They didn't have, and mills and stuff like
but
that.
people also lived here. So the interesting thing is I normally would tell you kind of like one of the psychic stories that I was working with up in Myrtle Beach, but because I've been doing so much research on this particular alley, I'm waiting for names to come up, and we actually got two just as I turned the corner. We got the name Benjamin, and we got the name Faith.
Just
Benjamin
now?
and Faith.
So the interesting thing about that is I actually have the full roster of every resident that's ever lived on this street. So I'll have to compare it to the list to see if those two names actually come up. But people that lived here, remember, were 1 block away from the water, which would have been much closer. So like your mariners, your sailors, your fishermen, those kind of people lived here, which was also lower on the, economic
Pay grade.
chain. So they were pretty much poor down here, sometimes unemployed, those kind of things. It's like they're actually cutting right through. So we're gonna kind of test things out and just kind of walk all the way to the end. Once we get to the end of this, it is residential. Tour guides are not allowed to be tour guides in Charleston in residential areas, meaning people live there. So we're just going to be 5 friends ghost hunting, and we're going to hang a right. So we're just going to walk through this pretty slow because these clay bricks that are super old can be a
These
little
are
slippery.
the original bricks.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
So
See what color are you? Yeah, hello over there. These are the. It's right here again. Right? Yeah. I wonder if there's anything down there. It got really cold, but it's because the air is blowing. Isn't that's so amazing? A hand mason. This is awesome. An original clay road. I think that's awesome.
coming behind you.
People live here.
That's actually a hotel. See, it gets a little dark down here. There's a big puddle in the center.
We don't want to get your new sand. Adidas.
Adidas.
Oh,
I used to wear that exact same shoe except for guys.
They're leather. It'll dry really easy.
What's that?
I said they're the leather kind, so they'll dry easy. Or vinyl or whatever they're made out of now.
Just gotta wipe them off and then everything. Stay in
It's a long driveway.
Look at these houses. How cool.
Wow, that's a 3-story house.
Look how narrow it is, too. And it's leaning. Yes, it is. That's what they call those townhouses in New York, right? Maybe.
Yeah, because I saw in magazines where they how they remodeled them. How they do all the magazines.
It's probably moving too fast. It's pretty.
It's got the old fireworks on there.
I really want to see something on this video. But maybe we did see something and I didn't know it. Oh, she smell it?
You're right in line.
Either that or a new build. I'm not sure.
I'm sure they would have walls. Hey, you guys found anything yet?
About ran into that meter. It looks like probably another hotel. It seems like those are going up. Well, of course it's not finished. It doesn't have any walls. You smell the ocean?
That's the old people right there.
Ooh, it got cold right here. Is it because it's a breezeway?
This is another alley.
Can you go down here?
Well, yeah, we're going to follow him wherever he takes us.
Residential. Going in your house door. That's cool right there. You know? Come on, we should show you something.
They also have a flash one, so that way we don't get any false positives. This used to be called Cow Alley, and then it was called Dueler's Alley, and now we know it as Philadelphia Alley. So this is every other ghost tour's big finale where they bring everybody to try to scare them. I'm going to give you the story very quick and very simple, so that way you guys can get a gist of what's actually happening. So there's a gate right along this wall here. When it was Dueler's Alley, the loser, the person that was dead, would go through the gate straight to the grave. There's a cemetery that way of St. Philip's Cemetery. So St. Philip's is our tallest steeple in Charleston. Yep. So, that's super interesting. So that actually relates to our story, so that's good. So, the story is the story of the Whistling Doctor. So if you actually Google the Whistling Doctor, this is the story you'll hear and read, whatever. But Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd moved down here from New Jersey because he was going to get married, and bless you. His fiance just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, so she had a lot of money. The lawyer said, no, you're not getting married yet. I think you're just after her money. You need to go somewhere else and start your practice somewhere else. So he comes to Charleston. The coachman that dropped him off, horse and buggy, said, this is a good place to stay. However, it was a setup for him to be robbed and killed. So somebody walking by, named Ralph Isaacs, said, no, this isn't a good place to stay. Let me take you somewhere else. He takes him over to Church Street, about 1.5 miles from here. So the two become friends. However, the doctor is doing very well for himself, and he became known as the Whistling Doctor because he was very happy. His practice is doing well. He's making a lot of money. Ralph Isaacs just stayed a regular old Charlestonian, but they still had the same taste. They used to go see plays together. One night they're walking home to go from the play. They couldn't sit in the same seats because of the different amounts of money that they made. So they're talking about one of the actresses. The doctor loved her, Ralph did not. It turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. Her name was Amanda. The two get mad at each other and they go their separate ways. Ralph Isaacs writes something in the Charleston newspaper that what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston, and the doctor rebuttals with, we're going to go down to Dueler's Alley and settle this. So they come down here, they got their guns, go back to back, they take 20 paces out, they turn, and the doctor shoots his gun in the air. He didn't want to kill his friend. He looked confused. So is everybody else. But Ralph took 2 shots below the knees. The doctor drops to the ground. He didn't die, so he didn't go through the gate. So his friends pick him up and they carry him back to his place on Church Street. He died 10 days later. Now, as you're walking through here, they said you can hear the doctor whistling or you can hear the gunshot. I did this tour on the 4th of July. You can imagine how many gunshots we heard that night. But you can hear whistling from time to time. I've only heard it once in the entire time we've been doing this tour. And it was very, very faint. So if you're going to be listening to your audio, this is the time to turn it up, to really listen for the whistling.
Turn it up, baby.
No, I meant the audio here.
Oh, when we
Right, because you're going to catch it here, not on there. So,
sorry.
get out of this first way. Again, at the end of this alley is residential. Somebody lives there. So we're going to be very cautious as we go by, very quiet, and we're going to not be a tour guide. There's something also...
Just hanging out.
I know. I'm going to let this group, we're going to have to walk to the right of this group, and then I'll tell you guys something else about the end of this alley. So let's walk back.
Hi.
Hi.
The basement? Yeah. I remember that.
That place was just creepy.
It probably is.
Oh, that is good. Oh, got a little something.
So, these bricks get older as we move along. At the very end are bricks that were sun-dried by slave children, which means they had to turn them every hour for them to, yeah, I get the word capital. They had to turn them. They're fingerprints, and we have one full handprint at the end of this alley. I can point it out, maybe try to capture a picture for you real quick, but we have to keep moving because somebody lives right there. So, but again, we're listening for whistles. Listen for somebody whistling.
That hurts my heart. What?
Yeah.
About the slave babies.
We don't
doing
normally
the
get
bricks.
any kind of EMF or anything there. We did one night. My daughter came back with the spirit box and actually had a quick little session with them because we did get EMF detection from it, which is weird. Most people, the reason why I don't take people through cemeteries is because who wants to be hanging out where they're buried? They want to go what made them happy, their old home, you know, somewhere that they used to like to visit. They're not
And
gonna
they don't
hang-
want to hang out with the bricks that they had to make when they were enslaved.
Exactly. So I'm going to be quick when we walk by. I'll take a few pictures of it if I can. And we'll try to take it from there. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you understand.
These bricks are more uniform, too.
Charlotte is into this. You know it? Charlotte is really into this.
Just easy way to really walk around the city at night with people.
I think it's interesting, huh? Watch out, Grandma. There's a pillow.
I see it. This time I see it.
Right in the center, it's pretty shallow.
Okay.
Just watch your toes. I know some of you have sandals on. I don't want you to slip. There you go. We got you. I don't have the flash on.
1776. So in these bricks is where
These are the original bricks.
the fingerprints would be?
No, they're actually going to be in the ground up there.
Oh, the ground. Oh,
Mhm.
no.
So actually, again, new camera. Suppress the flash. Give the auto.
1903 William Hood Johnson.
"10 years before the Declaration." Makes me so sad. I really think he would find a lot of things in Hendersonville that were
Yeah, like
haunted.
that outfit that with that woman was there with that ankle over it.
Do some of the fingerprints.
Oh no, this just hurts my heart. Hold on, let me get my phone out of your pocket for a minute. I know it hurts your heart, don't it? You can put your hand next to it. No. Hold on. No, thank you. Okay, there we go. What is it doing?
It's okay.
There we go. No. My camera's just being weird. It keeps going to like a timer or something.
Your phone's being weird?
Yeah.
Guys, it's
My
so
camera's
far
not working
past
properly.
Kind of put that in my pocket.
No, I want to take pictures, but
Think they think it's
I think he's interested in the fact that it's not acting correctly.
It didn't. It looks like it froze up.
There's more fingerprints right here. There's a full handprint right there.
1670.
Really long.
Probably drag a little bit.
Where is it? I'm sorry.
Is there a way to tell these things? Is there a way to tell these things was? Not anymore.
Look at car, don't we? Mercedes, is it? Yes, it is.
Mercedes.
Yep. Keep out.
It's usually about an hour and a half. So.
You do know that in Hendersonville, right there at that corner where that bank's got that clock on it, it was a bank. Right across the street from it was an underground place where teenagers used to go.
Where Postero is?
For what is?
Postero used to be Flight across on the corner of 4th and Main.
It's right there. Well, you can still see it.
It's got a big thing, the cubes in the floor on the sidewalk. Yeah, that's on the corner of 4th Avenue.
That's what I said. Did you know it?
No.
About 50.
Oh yeah, I did know it.
Oh, we only have one more stop.
So the building that I'm taking pictures of, that is the Wagner building. So that would have been a part of our cotton industry. That was,
Did that do something?
your finger break.
Oh, that would do it, wouldn't
There
it?
you go.
I'm used to it being on the other end.
Sorry, I kind of flipped it the opposite way.
It's fine.
I always set it up for a right-hander, so that way their right hand is always on the right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Makes sense.
so right now it's condos. People live back there, but the front of it was the offices for that cotton building. So the last person that owned it as a cotton warehouse was George Carrere. What happened to him was that he got himself into a bunch of debt, couldn't pay it off. He inherited the business from his dad, and he just didn't know what he was doing. So he got himself into a lot of trouble, and he sold the cotton off to the British behind the American government's back. Because we also had the boll weevil in town. The boll weevil eats cotton. So he was really not in a good place. So that's Pineapple Park straight ahead. Have you guys been downtown at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pineapple Park is right there on the water, where you can go down to the pier. So that wasn't there. So the British ship pulls up, and they unload with a horse and buggy back here. All the cotton goes out to the ship. And then George is watching from the very front of the building. And somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, and the whole ship goes up in flames. So now George is very much more depressed than what he already was. And he decides he's going to pile up all the furniture and swing a noose over the rafters and he hung himself
In this building?
in this building. So they say you can catch the shadow of a swinging corpse on the right day. I usually go through with the thermal camera and
Sorry.
kind of see what we got going on
Got
and
it.
listen to the spirit box along the way. Now, I told you guys about Coogan's Porch earlier.
No, I got chills all up my body.
I thought.
Coogan's
Are you
Porch is
purple
one
too?
block away from where we came out of the alley.
Mm-hmm.
So I told you guys where the dog is and all
Yeah.
of that. Zoe, the woman that died there, comes through on my spirit box all the time when I'm walking alongside of the Wagner building. So sometimes I have George, sometimes I have Zoe, sometimes they both stay hidden. So this location for me is kind of a hit or miss.
Right.
You just never know which we're
Is
actually
it
going to
so
capture.
hard to
No, ma'am.
So
It is not.
I tried to make this whole experience a circle so that way we ended up where we started. It's impossible to do.
It's okay.
So once we actually get down there, we're actually going to cross twice legally. Walk down the side of the building, and then we're going to walk. We're only about a 5 to 7 minute walk back from where we started. We're not that far. We actually interwove more this way than we did walk down East Bay. So it'll make much more sense to you when we get down that way.
It's just neat to even just be in the city at night, especially in a thunderstorm.
I know, right? That's going to be great for your audio. So I get all kinds of things here. I get the word fire. I get ship. Zoe spells her name without a Y. C-O-E. I've gotten her name twice now. I get the word stairs, which is how she died. She fell down a flight of stairs.
I heard that when we ate there a few years ago. That's
and
right.
Actually, you can...
Excuse me, do you know where Meeting Street is?
Meeting Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to head up that way about 4 blocks.
Okay, is that like the Mills house down there?
From where we're standing, I honestly couldn't tell you.
Meeting Street, isn't that the one thing?
All right, I'm gonna
That's
go
where the
find
market
it.
is.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
find it. Thanks.
Sorry, honey. So that kind of tells you.
I wonder if she's deceitful.
You didn't tell her to
Check her,
find
see if
the
she's
market.
blue.
No, I'm thinking about what the
He was mean to
spirits
somebody
feel about her.
without being mean to their face.
Fool you.
Oh, so kind of like what?
Fool you.
Talked about them behind your back.
Yes, kind of like he didn't sell the cotton back to the American government, he sold it to the British government, who was deceitful.
Can ghosts
tried
like
to fool
turn,
him.
make them look like normal people? Or they're just like not there, you can't see them?
It just depends. There's kind of like kind of spirit of it. Again, you could try to fool your people, depending on what kind of meeting people they do. If you believe it, you're probably going to come across some people who are So what we're doing is really no different.
Yeah, I'm thirsty. You know that? I thought I had something to drink. We'll get something. I think we're almost done. Elijah?
Elijah.
I was gonna name you that
Why? If I was a boy?
if you're a boy.
Actually, that's my nephew's name,
Wow.
but he's in Kansas. There's no reason why the spirits would target him at all. No.
Look at that building. That's so cool.
This is like a purple building.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's how that purple building?
I think so.
Got all the arches up in there. If there's any building I would trade mine for, it would be that.
Somebody's talking on the thing.
Somebody left it on the porch.
It's coming from that show.
What is that? You hear that talking?
It's his, the thing he has.
Are you past the city? That sign out there in the circle, the black sign?
From
That
it,
said East Bay.
well, yeah, when we were driving here, probably.
That's what I was talking about when we was driving this way.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're able to pay attention. I wasn't able to.
Make big mark.
So I asked what happened to the ship. I got the word cotton. And then I said what happened, and he said nothing. Like, it's plain as day. Like, you'll be able to hear it on the audio.
Wow. Did you hear it on yours, Ruby?
No, there's nothing.
Roo-roos. Roo-roos.
Maybe.
They got it talking like what's going on now.
Oh, this is
So
the one
that's
that's
two
up
spirit
there.
boxes running right now. So you're hearing, you see that chirping sound? That's the blue one that we're watching right now. But if I just turn the other one on, this one, you get rid of the static. But if I put the blue one back on, then you get both. See the difference? Mhm.
What
So
about
I'm guessing it wants us to look at that screen during this time.
This
So
one?
it would have been the second floor where he would have hung himself, and he would have watched the ship literally about half a block from here go up in flames. Slavery is the word that I got.
was there any slavery down here? Just down
Would have been. Talking about cotton. Yes, it would have been.
Have y'all covered the Civil War and slavery yet? In your school, in history?
Everybody?
Have you covered the Civil War?
Not really.
We've been testing something. So some nights we actually get a 25 to 30 degree difference between the very top where I was just scanning and then down to the next window. We get a 30-degree difference between the two.
Oh,
Tonight
that's
it's only
big.
5 degrees,
Uh,
which makes sense. And I just said the word method because I've been doing this over and over and over again, testing it. Because my theory is that we're getting a breeze off the water, and that's what's making that top part colder, but not by 25 to 30 degrees. So, got the word floor. So, which floor? George, which floor do you want us to look at? What's nice is it's actually quiet down here tonight. Normally this is pretty busy. I can't hear the spirit box. You getting anything on yours? Never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
On bed. It's a floor. On bed.
I don't know.
But it didn't say what floor.
What is on bed? What would that mean?
What is this right here? What is this building?
Right now, it's a wedding reception area. So there are actually a lot of construction in the front of this. It's going to be, because it's right on the water. Charleston's a major wedding venue. So they'll probably charge a ton of money to rent one of these floors out for your wedding reception. And there'll be like a 10-star restaurant in here. Specifically.
Oh, so they're still building it.
Yes.
Okay. In a haunted building. Awesome. This is where I'm going to get married.
It won't do anything because the crosswalks and lights are still going. So the other weird thing is that this used to be a brewery where they actually made beer, and the taps would turn on by themselves, cold drafts would come by, no AC was running, like all kinds of things would happen in this building. This camera. Maybe it wants me to take pictures.
I wonder if any of the construction workers have
I've already asked.
nothing.
Can you hold my crazy phone for just a second?
It said cameras, so just keep it.
This is that building that I told you, it has that rooftop thing on the top of it.
We were
was
just
we
on the
at?
back side of it.
Yeah, it's on the back side of it.
What do you mean by normal? Are all of these words actually clues, or some of them just
About 20% of them are going to be good. So what I'll do, you see this picture right here? See how this light kind of looks like it's emanating a little bit? I'll take that picture to my wife, who, that's what she does, and she will analyze it and tell us if it's the light coming off of the second story window, if it's something actually floating nearby, and she'll be able to tell us if it's an anomaly or not.
is it or it could be condensation?
That's a lot. See the little squiggle, like right above
Oh,
that
I
brick?
see above the
It's, yeah, it looks like like a smoggy spot.
Yeah.
Those windows are dirty, aren't they?
George, what do you mean by normal?
Honey, you have to ask them words with simple answers.
Yeah, simple answers. Like it could be full on
Kiss. There you go.
It's a wedding place.
It is a wedding venue. Way to put it together, sister.
Yep, that's what this is all about, the clues. So will there be weddings here? You say weddings?
Marriage.
I'm waiting for like party. Is this going to be the wedding reception?
Or any kind of sweet 16 or something.
Yeah, they're debating if they're going to turn the rooftop into it, so technically they'll have 4 stories of nothing but wedding receptions. And one major restaurant to cater all of them.
Where's my
It's going to cost a pretty penny.
In the fridge.
scissors to know.
All right, George. Just one
Don't
more
let
word,
us
buddy.
down, George.
He does not have a square if he knows how to run.
She likes to look at the architecture.
How many rings?
They have entrance on the side like the entrance.
How many what?
They would have two different exits.
49.
It's rounded.
So a lot for me to go through. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it. I think we've collected quite a bit. We're gonna put these gadgets away.
That was so
You
awesome.
want me to turn it off?
Yeah.
I do not know how to turn
Toss
this.
it in there. I'll fix that part.
I
That
don't
one
know.
Oh, you figured it out?
Yeah,
Doing the stop.
switch.
Yeah, hit the stop.